Srimad Bhagavatam Chapter 26, the Aila-gītā. This chapter explains how unfavorable association is a threat to one's position in devotional service, and how by associating with saintly persons one can attain the highest platform of devotion. The jīva who has received a human body, which is in itself most conducive toward achieving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and who has situated himself in the duties of devotional service to the Lord, becomes capable of realizing Him, the very identity of spiritual bliss. Such a person fully dedicated to the Supreme Personality is liberated from the influence of Māyā, even while continuing to reside in this world. Created by illusion, he is totally untouched by it. Those souls, on the other hand, who are bound up by Māyā are devoted only to their bellies and genitals. They are impure, and by associating with them one will fall down into the dark pit of ignorance. The Emperor Pururava, who was bewildered by the association of the heavenly lady Urvashi, later became renounced after being separated from her. He thus sang a song expressing his contempt for womanly connection. He described that persons who are attached to the body of a woman or a man, which is simply a mass of skin, meat, blood, sinew, brain tissue, marrow, and bones, are not much different from worms. What is the worst of the education, austerity, renunciation, reception of the Vedas, solitary living, and silence of one whose mind becomes stolen away by the body of a woman? Learned men should distrust their 6 mental enemies headed by lust, and thus avoid associating with women or with men who are controlled by women. After declaring these facts, King Pururava, now freed from the illusion of material existence, attained realization of the Supreme Lord in his form as the indwelling Supersoul. In conclusion, one who is intelligent should give up bad association and let himself become attracted to the company of saintly persons. By their transcendental instructions, the saintly devotees of the Lord can break the false attachment of one's mind. Real saints are always liberated and devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their association, there are constant discussions about the Supreme Lord, by serving whom the spirit soul completely eradicates his material sins and obtains pure devotional service. And when one gains the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original ocean of unlimited perfect qualities, what else remains to be gained? Text 1. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Malakshanam Imam Kayam Labdha Madharma Astitaha Ananda Paramatmanam Atmastam Samupaitimam. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, having achieved this human form of life, which affords one the opportunity to realize me, and being situated in my devotion service, one can achieve me, the reservoir of all pleasure and the Supreme Soul of all existence, residing within the heart of every living being. Purport. Because of bad association, even those who are spiritually liberated may fall down from self-realization. Within the material world, the association of women is especially dangerous, and therefore, in this chapter, the Aila-gītā is spoken to prevent such a fall down. One can be saved from sex attraction by association with saintly persons, who awaken one's real spiritual intelligence. Therefore, Lord Krishna will speak to Uddhava the amazing song of Pururava, also known as Aila-gītā. Text 2. Guna Māyā jīva yonya vimukta jnana nishtaya guneshu Māyā matreshu drishyamanesh avastutaha vartmanopi napuman yujyate vastubhir gunaihi. Translation. A person fixed in transcendental knowledge is freed from conditioned life by giving up his false identification with the products of the material modes of nature. Seeing these products as simply illusion, he avoids entanglement with the modes of nature, although constantly among them. Because the modes of nature and their products are simply not real, he does not accept them. A person fixed in transcendental knowledge is freed from conditioned life by giving up his false identification with the products of the material modes of nature. Seeing these products as simply illusion, he avoids entanglement with the modes of nature, although constantly among them. Because the modes of nature and their products are simply not real, he does not accept them. Purport. The three modes of nature become manifest as varieties of material bodies, places, families, countries, foods, sports, war, peace, and so forth. In other words, everything we see within the material world is constituted of the modes of nature. A liberated soul, although existing within the ocean of material energy, sees everything as the property of the Lord and is thus not entangled. Although Māyā tempts such a liberated soul to become a thief, to steal the property of the Lord for sense gratification, a Krishna conscious person does not bite the bite of Māyā. He remains honest and pure in Krishna consciousness. In other words, he does not believe that anything within the universe can become his personal property for sense gratification, especially the illusory form of a woman. Text 3. Sangam na kuryadasatam sinsnodartripam kvachit tasyanugastamasi ante patati anthanukantavat. Translation. One should never associate with materialists, those dedicated to gratifying their genitals and bellies. By following them, one falls into the deepest pit of darkness, just like a blind man who follows another blind man. Text 4. Aila-samradimam gatham agayata brihachrava vaha urvashi viraham mukhyan nirvinnaha soka samyame. Translation. The following song was sung by the famous emperor Pururava. When deprived of his wife Urvashi, he was at first bewildered, but by controlling his lamentation he began to feel detachment. Purport. This story is also narrated in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Aila, or Pururava, was a great king whose glories were vast. On being separated from Urvashi, he felt great bewilderment at first, but after meeting her briefly at Kurukshetra, he worshipped the demigods with the sacrificial fire given him by the Gandharvas and received the privilege of entering the planet where she resided. Text 5. Tyaktvatmanam vrajantim tam nagnaunmattavan nripaha vilapan anvagajaye gore tishteti viklavaha. Translation. When she was leaving him, even though he was naked, he ran after her just like a madman and called out in great distress, "O my wife, O terrible lady, please stop." Purport. As his beloved wife was leaving him, the shocked king was crying out, "My dear wife, please think for a moment, just stop. You terrible lady, can't you stop? Why don't we speak together for a while? Why don't we speak together for a while? Why are you killing me?" Thus lamenting, he followed her. Text 6. Kaman atripto nujashan Shulakan varshayaminihi navedayantir nayantir urvashya krishta chetanaha. Translation. Although for many years Pururava had enjoyed sex pleasure in the evening hours, still he was not satisfied by such insignificant enjoyment. His mind was so attracted to Urvashi that he did not notice how the nights were coming and going. Purport. This verse refers to Pururava's materialistic experience with Urvashi. Text 7. Aila vacha ahome moha vishtaraha kamakasmala chetasaha devya Aila-gītā kantasya nayuhu kandam ime smritaha. Translation. King Aila said, Alas, just this is the extent of my delusion. This goddess was embracing me and held my neck in her grip. My heart was so polluted by lust that I had no idea how my life was passing. Text 8. Naham vedabhinirmuktaha suryo va pyudito muya mushito varsha puganam batahani gatanyata. Translation. That lady cheated me so much that I did not even see the rising or setting of the sun. Alas, for so many years I passed my days in vain. Purport. Due to attachment to the goddess, King Pururava forgot his devotional service to the Supreme Lord and became more concerned with pleasing this beautiful young lady. Thus he later lamented, having wasted his valuable time. Those who are Krishna conscious utilize every moment in the Lord's loving service. Text 9. Aho me atma sammoho yena atma yoshitam kritaha krida mrigas chakravarti naradeva sikhamanihi. Translation. Alas, although I am supposed to be a mighty emperor, the crown jewel of all kings on this earth, just see how my bewilderment has rendered me a toy animal in the hands of women. Purport. Since the king's body had become fully engaged in satisfying the superficial desires of women, his body was now like a toy animal in their hands. Text 10. Saparichadam atmanam hitva trinam iveshwaram yantim striyam chanvagamam nagna unmattavadrudan. Translation. Although I was a powerful lord with great opulence, that woman gave me up as if I were no more than an insignificant blade of grass, and still, naked and without shame, I followed her, crying out to her like a madman. Text 11. Kutastasya anubhavah Teja tvameva va yon va gaccham striyam yantim karavat padataditaha. Translation. Where are my so-called great influence, power, and sovereignty? Just like an ass being kicked in the face by his she-ass, I ran after that woman who had already given me up. Text 12. Kim vidyaya kim tapasa kim tyagena shrutena va kim vivekta tena maunena stribiryasya manohritam. Translation. What is the use of a big education or the practice of austerities and renunciation? And what is the use of studying religious scriptures, of living in solitude and silence, if after all that one's mind is stolen by a woman? Purport. All of the above mentioned processes are useless if one's heart and mind are stolen by an insignificant woman. One who hankers after a woman's association certainly spoils his spiritual progress. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that if one worships the example of the liberated gopis of Vrindavana, who accepted Lord Shri Krishna as their paramour, one can free one's mental activities from the contamination of lust. Text 13. Svarthasya kovidam dhinmam murkham panditamaninam yoham ishvaratam prapya stribir gokaravajitaha. Translation. To hell with me. I'm such a fool that I didn't even know what was good for me. Although I arrogantly thought I was highly intelligent, although I achieved the exalted position of a lord, I allowed myself to be conquered by women as if I were a bullock or a jackass. Purport: all the fools of this world consider themselves very wise scholars even though intoxicated by sense gratification and maddened by their lust for women's association, they become just like bullocks and jackasses. By the mercy of a saintly spiritual master, this lusty propensity can gradually be removed and one can understand the terrible contemptible nature of material sense gratification. In this verse, King Pururava is coming to his senses in Krishna consciousness. Text 14. Sevato varsha pugan me urvasya atharasvana as savam na tripyati atma bhukamo vahnir ahuti bhiryatha. Translation: even after I had served the so-called nectar of the lips of Urvashi for many years, my lusty desires kept rising again and again within my heart and were never satisfied, just like a fire can never be extinguished by the oblations of ghee poured into its flames. Text 15. Pumschalya paritam chittam konvanyo mochitum prabhu Atmarameshwaram Rite Bhagavantam Athokshajam. Translation: who but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who lies beyond material perception and is the Lord of self-satisfied sage, can possibly save my consciousness, which has been stolen by a prostitute? Text 16. Bodhitasyapi divyame Suktavakyena durmatehe Manogato mahamoho Napayati ajitatmanaha. Translation: because I allowed my intelligence to become dull and because I failed to control my senses, the great confusion in my mind did not go away, even though Urvashi herself gave me wise counsel with well-spoken words. Because I allowed my intelligence to become dull and because I failed to control my senses, the great confusion in my mind did not go away, even though Urvashi herself gave me wise counsel with well-spoken words. Purport: as described in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the goddess Urvashi plainly told Pururava that he should never trust women or believe their promises. Despite this frank advice, he became fully attached and thus suffered great mental anguish. Text 17. Kimmitaya nopakritam rajvava sarpachetasaha drashtuhu swarupa vidushu yoham yat ajitendriyaha. Translation: how can I blame her for my trouble when I myself am ignorant of my real spiritual nature? I did not control my senses, and so I am like a person who mistakenly sees a harmless rope as a snake. Purport: when a person mistakes a rope for a snake, he becomes fearful and anxious. Such fear and anxiety are of course illusions, since the rope can never bite. Similarly, one who mistakenly thinks that the material illusory energy of the Lord exists for his personal sense gratification will certainly bring down on his head an avalanche of material illusory fear and anxiety. King Pururava frankly admits here that the young lady Urvashi is not to blame. After all, it was Pururava who mistakenly considered her to be an object of his personal enjoyment, and therefore he suffered the reaction by the laws of nature. Pururava himself was the offender for trying to exploit the external form of Urvashi. Text 18. Kvayam madima sahakayo daurgantyadhyatmako suchihi kva gunaha saumanasya kyatya so vidyaya kritaha. Translation: what is this polluted body anyway? So filthy and full of bad odors. I was attracted by the fragrance and beauty of a woman's body. But what are those so-called attractive features. They are simply a false covering created by illusion. Purport. Pururava now understands that although he was madly attracted to the fragrant, shapely body of Urvashi, in fact that body was a sack of stool, gas, bile, mucus, hairs, and other repugnant elements. In other words, Pururava is now becoming sane. Text 19 to 20. Pitroho chim swam nu bharyayaha saminognehe svagratrayoho kimatmanaha kim suhridam iti yo navasiyate tasmin kalivare medya tucha nishte visajate aho subhadram sunasam susmitam cha mukham striyaha. Translation. One can never decide whose property the body actually is. Does it belong to one's parents, who have given birth to it, to one's wife, who gives it pleasure, or to one's employer, who orders the body around? Is it the property of the funeral fire, or of the dogs and jackals who may ultimately devour it? Is it the property of the indwelling soul, who partakes in its happiness and distress, or does the body belong to intimate friends who encourage and help it? Although a man never definitely ascertains the property of the body, he becomes most attached to it. The material body is a polluted material form heading toward a lowly destination, yet when a man stares at the face of a woman he thinks, "What a good-looking lady! What a charming nose she's got, and see her beautiful smile." Purport. The phrase tucca nishte, or headed toward a lowly destination, indicates that if buried the body will be consumed by worms. If burned it will turn to ashes, and if dying in a lonely place it will be consumed by dogs and vultures. The illusory potency of Māyā enters within the female form and bewilders a man's mind. The man is attracted to Māyā appearing within the female form, but when he embraces the woman's body, he ends up with 2 handfuls of stool, blood, mucus, pus, skin, bone, hairs, and flesh. People should not be like cats and dogs in the ignorance of bodily consciousness. A human being should be enlightened in Krishna consciousness and learn to serve the Supreme Lord without false trying to exploit his potencies. Tvan mam saruchirasnayu medo majasti samhatao vinmutra puyera matam kriminam kiat antaram. Translation. What difference is there between ordinary worms and persons who try to enjoy this material body composed of skin, flesh, blood, muscle, fat, marrow, bone, stool, urine, and pus? Text 22. Athapi nopasajjeta strishu strainishu chartatvid vishayendriya samyogan manah kshupyati nanyatha. Translation. Yet even one who theoretically understands the actual nature of the body should never associate with women or with men attached to women. After all, the contact of the senses with their objects inevitably agitates the mind. Yet even one who theoretically understands the actual nature of the body should never associate with women or with men attached to women. After all, the contact of the senses with their objects inevitably agitates the mind. Text 23. Adrishtad asrutad bhavan na bhavam upajayate asamprayujataha pranan samyati stimitam manaha. Translation. Because the mind is not disturbed by that which is neither seen nor heard, the mind of a person who restricts the material senses will automatically be checked in its material activities and become more pacified. Because the mind is not disturbed by that which is neither seen nor heard, The mind of a person who restricts the material senses will automatically be checked in its material activities and become pacified. Purport. It may be argued that even while closing one's eyes, while dreaming, or while living in a solitary place, one may remember or contemplate sense gratification. Such an experience, however, is due to previous sense gratification that one repeatedly saw and heard about. When one restricts the senses from their objects, especially from intimate contact with women, the mind's material propensity will slacken and, like a fire without fuel, eventually die. Text 24. Tasmat sango na kartavyah strishu strainishu chendriyaihi vidusham chapi avishradha satvargaha kimu matrasham. Translation. Therefore one should not never let his senses associate freely with women, or with men attached to women. Even those who are highly learned cannot trust the six enemies of the mind. What to speak then of foolish persons like me? Text 25. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Evam Pragaya Nirpadeva Devaha Saurvashi Lokamatho Vihaya Atmanam Atmani Avagamya Mam Vai Uparamaj Yana Vidhuta Mohaha. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, having thus chanted this song, Maharaja Pururava, eminent among the demigods and human beings, gave up the position he had achieved in the planet of Urvashi. His illusion cleansed away by transcendental knowledge, he understood me to be the Supreme Soul within his heart, and so at last achieved peace. Text 26. Tato dusangam utrishya Sachu Sajita Bhutimam Santa Evasya Chindanti Manovya Uktibihi. Translation. An intelligent person should therefore reject all bad association and instead take up the association of saintly devotees, whose words cut off the excessive attachment of one's mind. Text 27. Santo napekshamacchittaha prashantah samadarshinaha nirmama nirahankara nirdvanta nishparingraha. Translation. My devotees fix their minds on me and do not depend upon anything material. They are always peaceful, endowed with equal vision, and free from possessiveness, false ego, duality, and greed. Text 28. Teshu nityam mahabhageshu matkataha sambhavanti hitat nirnam jushatam prapunanti agham. Translation. O greatly fortunate Uddhava, in the association of such saintly devotees, there is constant discussion of me, and those partaking in this chanting and hearing of my glories are certainly purified of all sins. O greatly fortunate Uddhava, in the association of such saintly devotees, there is constant discussion of me, and those partaking in this chanting and hearing of my glories are certainly purified of all sins. Purport. Even if one does not receive direct instructions from a pure devotee, simply by hearing him glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can be purified of all sinful reactions caused by one's involvement in illusion. Text 29. Taye shrinvanti gayanti hyanumodanti chadrataha matparaha shraddhathanascha bhaktim vindanti te mai. Translation. Whoever hears, chants, and respectfully takes to heart these topics about me becomes faithfully dedicated to me and thus achieves my devotional service. Purport. One who hears from advanced devotees of Lord Krishna can be saved from the ocean of material existence. When one obeys the orders of a bona fide spiritual master, The polluted workings of the mind are checked. One sees things in a new spiritual light, and there blossoms the propensity for selfless, loving service to the Lord, which gives the fruit of love of Godhead. Text 30. Bhaktim labdhavatah sadhoho kimanyat avashishyate Mayi ananta gune brahmani anandanubhavatmani. Translation. What more remains to be accomplished for the perfect devotee after achieving devotion service unto me, the Supreme Absolute Truth, whose qualities are innumerable, and who am the embodiment of all ecstatic experience? What more remains to be accomplished for the perfect devotee after achieving devotion service unto me, the Supreme Absolute Truth, whose qualities are innumerable and who am the embodiment of all ecstatic experience? Purport. Devotion service to Lord Krishna is so pleasing that a pure devotee cannot desire anything except service to the Lord. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna told the gopis that they would have to accept their own service as the ultimate reward of their devotion to him, since nothing awards as much happiness and knowledge as devotion service itself. When one sincerely chants and hears the holy name and fame of Lord Krishna, the heart is purified and gradually one can appreciate the actual blissful nature of Krishna consciousness, loving service to the Lord. Text 31. Yathopashraya manasya bhagavantam vibhavasum sitambayam tamopyeti su satun samshevatastata. Translation. Just as cold, fear, and darkness are eradicated for one who has approached the sacrificial fire, so dullness, fear, and ignorance are destroyed for one engaged in serving the devotees of the Lord. Purport. Those engaged in fruitive activities are certainly dull. They lack higher awareness of the Supreme Lord and the soul. Materialists are engaged more or less mechanically in gratifying their senses and ambitions, and thus they are considered dull or practically unconscious. All such dullness, fear, and ignorance are removed when one serves the lotus feet of the Lord, just as cold, fear, and darkness are removed when one approaches a fire. Text 32. Nimajyonmajjatam mukore bhavad Paramayanam Shanto Brahma Vittaha Shanta Naurdritevapshu Majjatam. Translation. The devotees of the Lord, peacefully fixed in absolute knowledge, are the ultimate shelter for those who are repeatedly rising and falling within the fearful ocean of material life. Such devotees are just like a strong boat that comes to rescue persons who are at the point of drowning. The devotees of the Lord, peacefully fixed in absolute knowledge, are the ultimate shelter for those who are repeatedly rising and falling within the fearful ocean of material life. Such devotees are just like a strong boat that comes to rescue persons who are at the point of drowning. Text 33. Annam hi praninam prana arthanam sharanam taham dharmo vittam nirnam pritya shantos vagpipyatoranam. Translation. Just as food is the life of all creatures, just as I am the ultimate shelter for the distressed, and just as religion is the wealth of those who are passing away from this world, so my devotees are the only refuge of persons fearful of falling into a miserable condition of life. Purport. Those fearful of being dragged down by material lust and anger should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord's devotees, who can engage one safely in the Lord's loving service. Text 34. Shanto dishanti chakshumshi bahirarkaha samutchitaha devata bandhavaha shantaha shanta atmaham evacha. Translation: My devotees bestow divine eyes, whereas the sun allows only external sight, and that only when it is rising in the sky. My devotees are one's real worshipable deities and real family. They are one's own self, and ultimately they are none different from me. Purport: Foolishness is the wealth of the impious, who place great value on their treasure, and freely make up their minds to remain in the darkness of ignorance. Saintly devotees of the Lord are just like the sun. By the light of their words, the living entities' eyes of knowledge are opened, and the darkness of ignorance is destroyed. Thus, the saintly devotees are one's real friends and relatives. They are the proper recipients of service, not the gross material body, which merely clamors for sense gratification. Text 35. Vaitasenas tatopyevam urvasya loka nishpraha muktasango mahimmetam atmaramascha. Translation: Thus losing his desire to be on the same planet as Urvashi, Maharaja Pururava began to wander the earth free of all material association and completely satisfied within the self. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 11th Canto, 26th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled the Aila-gītā.